Hi, welcome to Chad's Silversmithing. Today it's time for a quick tip, and I thought it's been a while since I talked about sizing rings, and it seemed like an appropriate topic for a quick tip. So we're going to talk a little bit about sizing up and down, some do's and don'ts, and it should be useful, hopefully, if you're new to this. So let's get started. This is the sketchbook that I'm currently filling up right now. Most of the sketchbooks on my merch store have useful silversmithing information on them. This one has flow temperatures of various solders. The one that I found the most useful, I think, was a gauge to inches to millimeters conversion. The other one I found really useful is the fractions of an inch to decimals to millimeters, and that was a really useful one too. But my biggest feature for these things is the dot matrix in the background. It helps me to draw better pictures when I'm sketching something up. And it's really nice to have a record of what you've made, because I filled up about 4 or 5 of these now, and it's nice to be able to go back and look at what you did, so you don't have to recreate the wheel every time. Today we're not really doing a project, we're talking about sizing. And inevitably, once you start telling people that you're doing this, you're going to have a lot of people ask you to size stuff. Now, until you've gotten relatively competent at this, I would just tell them no. But once you've achieved a certain amount of competency doing this, there's nothing wrong with sizing stuff. There are some things you need to consider. If you want to see my older video about it, I'll put a link up here, but this quick tip should be short and to the point. A few things to remember. Most stones can't take the kind of heat we're dealing with when we're soldering, so taking the stones out is definitely going to be something you want to do before you do that, if it has stones. The second thing you need to consider is a lot of people use multiple types of solder in a single piece, so you may have anywhere from hard silver solder all the way down to extra easy solder. And so if you go to solder in a little segment here to make it bigger, or to take a piece out and then resolder it, you could have some pieces come apart on you. So keep that in mind. You're probably going to want to use a lower temperature solder like easy, just to be safe. Finally, I've had a number of people over the years ask me to try to size or fix things that have inlay in them, and that usually doesn't work out very well. So you might want to take that to a bench jeweler if you need to get something like that sized, or suggest someone who brings something to you like that to take it to a bench jeweler, because they have more experience about that kind of stuff. Inevitably, you'll usually end up even using some of the heat resistant materials they make to cover up stuff like that. It's still got, some of that heat's still going to penetrate into those stones, and it may either ruin them, or it may destroy the adhesive that's holding them in, and you'll have to re-glue them in there for the person you're doing it for. But I would just avoid doing that and send them to a bench jeweler for that kind of stuff. But it's relatively easy to size things up or down and to get it pretty accurate. So I got out a little silver band out of my box, and this one's a size 6. So let's say you realized you were supposed to make a size 7. And so we need to figure out how much extra to add into there after we cut it. And here's what I usually do is I take a little strip of paper that's, you know, not too much wider than the piece. What was that, a size 6? That's about a 6. Okay. So we'll measure around the 6 here, and right where they overlap, we'll make a mark right there. Okay. And that's the side that we went around with. But we need to get it to a size 7. And so let's just wrap it around the size 7 now and overlap it again. Make sure it's tight. And then we'll make a mark where they cross over there. So that little gap right there is the amount that we need to add in from here to here. We need to cut a piece that's that long to size into that, to make it bigger, to get it up to a size 7. So that'll get you pretty close. Same way if you're going down. Let's say we wanted to make it a size 4. So let's wrap it around a size 4. Every once in a while I get somebody who comes by a booth when I'm at a show or something and has really tiny fingers. So they're right there. So now here's the original size right there. So this is how much you'd need to cut out of the ring in order to get it down to a size 4 before you resoldered it closed. So pretty straightforward, not too hard to do, and hopefully that'll help you out if someone asks you to do that. So that's how you size things up or down. Alright, well that was all about sizing. I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. If you did, I'd love it if you'd hit the like button before you go. And I'd love it even more if you went to my main channel page and checked out some of my other videos. I have over 620 now. I've been doing this at 3 per week for about 4 years, so there's quite a bit of content over there. And I think there's quite a bit that's useful as well. So check it out, watch a few, and make sure to subscribe to my channel. I'd love it if you did that. It doesn't cost you anything, and it makes it easier to find my content. So you can even hit the notifications button, and it'll tell you when a new video comes out, which incidentally is on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So before I go, I wanted to thank a couple of groups of people. First, my patrons over on Patreon are my core group of supporters. I could not do this without their support, not only the financial help that they provide for me, but the moral support and the community that they've built over there. It's a really nice place with a lot of cool people who know a lot of stuff. So we can all kind of tap into each other's knowledge base and resources, and it's nice. So thank you for making it that way. The other group are my YouTube subscribers, and we just passed 28,000, which is amazing. Thank you for that. I truly do appreciate the nice comments, the video suggestions, telling me how you do things. I always love hearing that. And just the generally really cool people who I run across on YouTube. Thanks for being that way. Thank you also for the financial support. The Buy Me a Coffees, the super thanks, buying my merch or my ebooks. All of that stuff really contributes to this channel being sustainable, and I couldn't do it without your help, so thanks for that. Finally, hit the video description down below. There's some important links. There's a link to my Patreon if you want to find out more about the various tiers of membership over there. There is a link to my merch store if you want to get yourself one of those nice design idea sketchbooks or some other useful merch. There's a link to my newest ebook, which is a guide to 2025's tutorials, and I did over 170, so there's a page for each one, a link to the video itself. On the page it'll have a picture of the sketch that I drew, a picture of the final outcome of the project, a list of materials it took to make the project, stone information if there's a stone in it, a difficulty rating, and some notes I took about it, things that I might have learned from the project or things I might do differently if I was to approach it again. Or just, you know, did I feel like it was a successful outcome or not? I don't always find that every project I do is exactly how I'd hoped it came out. So it's a great way to have a ton of projects right at your fingertips and a really nice way to support my channel. So get yourself one of those, or even better, get yourself all 3 of the ones that I've done so far, which are 2023s, 2024s, and 2025s. You can get a discount if you buy all 3 of them together. So, all right, well, thanks for watching today. Take care. Happy silversmithing.